All the evidence suggests that Ramses the Great was the pharaoh of the Exodus. The Joseph story shows that there were Israelites in Egypt. It was written by someone with an intimate knowledge of Egypt. And the 7-year famine inscription on Sahel Island? That shows that famines did happen in Egypt. Then, in the Exodus story itself, we are told that the Israelites built the store cities of Pithom and Ramesses in the Delta. And the Delta really is littered with the remains of Ramses' cities. Add to this that Ramses' firstborn dies at about 1262 BC, the time of the Exodus, and it begins to look as if Ramses was the unnamed pharaoh. The Exodus didn't happen exactly as written in the Bible, but it seems as if something happened, and Ramses was right in the middle of it. That's why, when we look on the face of Ramses the Great, we are probably looking at a character right out of the Bible. This may be the face of a man who may have actually known Moses. If Ramses was the pharaoh of the Exodus, this would explain a radical change in his behavior. The evidence of this midlife crisis is written on a temple wall for all to see. And this is it. It's the first peace treaty in the history of the world. And it's between Ramses and the Hittite king. It has everything you'd expect in a modern treaty. Non-aggression pact, end to hostilities. But the important term up there is that Ramses the Great promises not to trespass on the land of the Hittites, to take anything from it. He's given up Kadesh. For years he fought to keep Kadesh. Why is he willing to give it up now? I think the answer may be in Exodus. Ramses had suffered his first defeat. He'd lost his firstborn son. This may have been more than he could bear. The Exodus and the death of his firstborn and other sons were not the only tragedies Ramses had to bear. Abu Simbel was completed around the 24th year of his reign, and he sailed up the Nile with Nefertari to dedicate their his and hers temples. No king of Egypt had ever built anything like it. Of all his wives, it was Nefertari alone who was his friend and companion. She had accompanied him everywhere and appears at his side in his temple statues. This was to be the last voyage for Nefertari, she for whom the sun doth shine. She died soon after their return to the Delta Palace. The Valley of the Queens was called the Place of Beauty, and there, Ramses built the most beautiful tomb in all of Egypt for Nefertari. His beloved queen is slender and elegant, ready to enter the next world. There she would take her rightful place with the gods. Ramses would reign for another 40 years without the companionship of Nefertari. From this time on, he was a changed man. Never again would he ride out of the Delta to lead the army in battle. His thoughts had turned from conquest to building tombs and monuments.